They told you it was too late to start over after 75, too late to find joy, purpose, or even love. But they were wrong. Imagine waking up tomorrow, looking at your reflection, and realizing your story isn't over yet. What if, at an age when society whispers slow down, your heart whispers back, untry again? Because starting over after 75 isn't about returning to square one. It's about turning the page and discovering a chapter nobody talks about. A chapter filled with quiet courage, gentle victories, and the calm excitement of becoming someone new. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll share 7 powerful reasons why your age is precisely why you should start again. Real stories, real transformations, real hope. And one small morning habit you're probably overlooking. One tiny mistake that could quietly be stealing your independence without you even noticing. Hold that thought. We'll return to it when you least expect. Reason 1: minus a brain that still builds bridges. 4.5 years ago, Margaret swallowed 7 prescription pills with every sunrise. Diabetes ruled her plate, arthritis ruled her pace. Today she takes 1 pill, no insulin, and she walks the park without counting benches. She isn't younger, she is newer. Neuroscientists call it plasticity, the brain's power to rewire long after childhood. When you pick up a paintbrush, learn Italian, or try the crossword in ink, fresh neural bridges appear like footpaths across a river. The calendar cannot prune them. New research from the University of Pittsburgh followed adults aged 70 to 85 who began learning a second language. Within 9 months, they showed the same gains in attention span as much younger control groups. Imagine your brain as a library where new shelves can still be installed. Every fresh skill is a plank, every memory a book. The librarian never retires, she simply waits for new arrivals. Give her something worth cataloging. Open loop. Later I'll share the 2-minute exercise Margaret used to anchor her new habit. Reason 2: a body that negotiates renewal. A year ago, James lay on a hospital table while surgeons rerouted the traffic in his heart. The first weeks felt endless, pain like a tight coat he couldn't shrug off. Yet each dawn he shuffled 10 more steps. Today, 76, he stands at the door of that same hospital, volunteering to walk patients to recovery. Muscle fibers still respond to demand, bones still remodel under gentle stress. Orthopedic studies show that resistance bands used 3 times a week can restore up to 15% of lost muscle mass in adults over 80. James kept a recovery journal. Day 42 reads, H walked to mailbox without sitting. Day 90, to dance to Billie Holiday in the kitchen. These lines are stitches sewing his body back to his spirit. Keep your own ledger of reclaimed moments. Your body keeps a notepad labeled repairs pending. It waits only for your signature. Reason 3: minus work that still wants your wisdom. Elaine turns 80 next month. Twice a week she slips behind the counter of the neighborhood bookstore, recommends poetry, and balances the till. On it keeps my mind sharp, she says, and reminds me I belong to the world. Starting over doesn't always mean quitting. Sometimes it means returning with clearer eyes to the craft that once gave you rhythm. A Gallup poll of retirees who re-entered part-time work found that those working fewer than 20 hours per week reported higher happiness scores than at any prior stage of life. If paid work feels out of reach, consider mentoring online, reading to children over video chat, or guiding community history tours. The currency you earn is gratitude, and it spends well against loneliness. Keep listening. I'll reveal Elaine's 2-question test for deciding which work is worth your limited hours. Reason 4: solitude that can become sanctuary. Perhaps you live alone now. The chair across the table holds only the memory of conversation. You pour 2 cups of tea out of habit, then pour 1 back. Loneliness can shrink the walls until the hallway feels longer and the floor feels harder. Yet solitude can also stretch the sky. One man wrote, I live alone with my dog. Most of my friends are deceased. He began photographing sunrise walks with that dog, posting a single image each day. Months later, strangers across continents waited for his dawn. Psychologists describe awe therapy, the practice of noticing vast or beautiful scenes, as a direct antidote to isolation. Researchers at UC Berkeley found that sharing nature photos online increases feelings of connection even when followers are strangers. Digital bridges still carry real footsteps. If you've lost a companion, animal or human, remember, grief is love with nowhere to go. Redirect it. Volunteer at a shelter, foster an older animal, let your routine find a new heartbeat to follow. Energy returns when purpose calls its name. Reason 5 minus curiosity that refuels energy. 80% of seniors skip this, and it's silently draining their vitality. They stop asking questions. Curiosity isn't childish, it's cellular. At 75, Rosa learned coding online. It helps my mind, she laughs, and I'm still running every day to debug my thoughts. Each new question deposits interest in the bank of vigor. The Mayo Clinic reports that older adults engaged in continuous learning reduce the risk of cognitive decline by up to 30%. Curiosity also fuels movement. Rosa pairs each new coding lesson with a lap around the block, telling herself the blood flow cements the code. Her smartwatch agrees. Heart rate up, forgetfulness down. Later, I'll give you a curiosity challenge that takes less time than brewing tea. Reason 6 minus health is a conversation, not a verdict. A viewer confided, "CI, am 68. I see a decline in balance and grip. I chalked it up to age, but this has changed my perspective." Perspective is medicine. When you treat your body as a partner instead of a prisoner, you negotiate better terms. 1 in 3 adults over 75 will fall this year. But most falls begin in the mind, not the feet. Confidence slips first. Stand tall now. We'll practice a balance drill in 60 seconds. Plant your feet hip-width apart, eyes forward, lift one heel. Feel the sway? That's your body renegotiating its contract with gravity. Repeat with the other heel. Practice the drill while waiting for the kettle, and you'll log over 2 hours of balance training each month without scheduling a thing. A Swedish study tracking seniors who practice daily balance exercises found a 43% reduction in serious falls within a year. Numbers matter because they prove what hope whispers. Effort still changes outcomes. Reason 7 minus legacy that starts at noon, not midnight. Legacy begins on an ordinary Tuesday. The man who lost his dog, and much of his spirit, joined a community garden, planting tomatoes beside teenagers who had never tasted homegrown fruit. Each vine is now a sentence in his unwritten memoir. The video of their harvest went viral, 2 million views of hands, old and young, lifting fruit together. Sociologists call this generative purpose, the drive to invest in future generations. Adults who embrace it report lower anxiety and higher nightly sleep quality. Legacy can be lighter than you think. A single recorded story, a recipe card passed to a neighbor, a seed packet mailed to a grandchild. Each is a vote for the future. A grandchild once asked his grandfather, "Why do you keep learning?" The old man replied, "Because questions keep me young enough to answer yours." Every skill you learn becomes a gift to someone who hasn't learned it yet. Reason 7.5 minus spirit that outgrows walls. Faith, meditation, quiet walks. Call it what you will, the inner life is an elastic room. At 82, Lila begins each morning by writing a single line of gratitude, then reading a psalm aloud. On days when words feel dry, she simply listens to the hum of the refrigerator and names it evidence of provision. Neurologists at Harvard have linked daily contemplative practice to thicker cortical regions involved in emotional regulation. Stillness strengthens resilience. Whether you kneel, chant, or watch the tide, give your spirit 5 deliberate minutes. Remember, renewal is not a marathon finish line. It is a series of gentle restarts. If you stumble tomorrow, restart in the afternoon. Miss a week? Restart next Monday. Hope is a door with unlimited resets. That morning mistake? Reaching for the phone and scrolling until minutes bleed into hours. Replace it with a stretch, a glass of water, and one handwritten question. What would the healthiest version of me choose next? That 2-minute anchor shrank Margaret's 7 pills to 1. Elaine's work test. Does this task let me pass on wisdom I earned the hard way? Will I leave with more energy than when I arrived? 2 yeses, she signs up. Otherwise, she saves her hours for something better. Your curiosity challenge. Before sunset, learn one fact about a topic you know nothing about. Jazz drumming, lunar eclipses, the secret life of moss. Share it at dinner or write it in a journal. The brain loves novelty the way lungs love oxygen. This small evening oversight could steal tomorrow's momentum, going to bed without a plan. Write 1 sentence of intention on a sticky note and place it on the bathroom mirror. When dawn blinks through the window, your future self will already have its first instruction. 3-word mantra, forward from here. Speak it when doubt raises a finger. The anchor keeps the boat safe, but only by stopping it from sailing. Close your eyes, unless you're walking, and picture a path through a quiet forest. Each tree represents a decade you've lived. Some trunks bear scars of lightning, some branches cradle nests. Ahead, the path bends where new saplings sway. Step toward them. Hear the crunch of leaves? That's the sound of the past applauding the future. Tonight, when the house quiets and the stars appear like distant campfires, stand at the window, whisper your name, followed by the chapter number you're entering. Promise yourself one brave sentence tomorrow, then rest. The dawn will keep the promise with you. And if you doubt tomorrow, remember the words of a viewer who wrote, very insightful and encouraging. Insight is the map. Encouragement is the lamp. Together they light the next mile. Forward from here. Always.